The 2021 NFL Draft is in the books. The New York Giants come away with 6 players to help their roster this year and beyond. Joined by David Diehl, I am John Schmeelk. And Dave, of course, the headliner is Kadarius Toney. The Giants trade down from pick number 11 to pick number 20, and they wind up with perhaps the most elusive player in this draft.
No question. I think he was the shiftiest wide receiver and ball catcher in the SEC. And one of the things that you love what he brings to this team is his explosive playability and his versatility. You think with Kenny Golladay getting signed this offseason as a free agent, we have our true X. You think about Sterling Shepard working the slot and getting in and out of his breaks. You think stretching the field vertically with John Ross and Darius Slayton. Now you have Kadarius Toney into the mix with the wide receivers to where you can run your jet sweeps, your bubble screens, and even get them involved into the backfield running the football as well.
And involve him in the return game on special teams. Get him the ball, let him cook. Go to round number 2. The Giants trade back again, but they still wind up with the guy they probably would have taken at 42nd overall. They went down to 50. Aziz Ojulari. Dave, most people had a first-round grade on this guy, master of the dip and rip at Georgia.
When you and I talked and did the podcast 2 weeks ago, this was my favorite outside edge defensive end rusher in the draft. I love what he brings with his size, his length, his ability to get still stronger in his core and in his lower body, but his ability to dip, bend the edge, have the speed to flatten out and really recognize where the quarterback's going with the football, not to mention the takeaway ability, the strips, the sack force fumbles, and the fumble recoverability. You put him with Dexter Lawrence on the interior and Leonard Williams. Now you have to worry as an offensive coordinator. Are you chip on the outside? Are you sliding through the B protection and the B gap to help out with your protection? So this is another area where now Patrick Graham and this defense can create those mismatches on the defensive line.
And then trader Dave Gettleman added again in round number 3, this time moving up using one of those picks acquired in that trade with the Bears, a 5th-round pick this year, to pick Aaron Robinson, who is a press man corner that can do it in the toughest spot to play man-to-man, Dave, the slot.
Yeah, you absolutely love this pickup because, once again, this was that one piece when you look at this defense in the secondary they needed. We knew down the back end of the stretch of the 2020 season, we all talked about we were playing way too much zone defense and not enough man. Now, with bringing him in with Adoree Jackson during the offseason and Bradbury coming into his 2nd season as a New York Giant, once again, it provides flexibility of what you want to show pre-snap and what you're going to show post-snap, and also being able to move Peppers in those dime situations as a possible dime linebacker with Martinez down in the middle.
All right, let's go to day number 3, and perhaps the player with the most tantalizing upside in this draft is Elerson Smith from a smaller school in northern Iowa. This guy is an athlete.
Oh, he certainly is. 6'6", 82 7/8 wingspan. You talk about pressing at the line of scrimmage, creating separation between you and the offensive tackles and the tight ends. That's what he provides with that size and length. He also has the ability at 256 to gain weight, to get more strength in his lower body and start to really shock and shed at the point of attack at the defensive end position.
Probably a situational pass rusher to start, to work him in early downs as he gets a little bit stronger. Then finally, Dave, 2 6th-round picks, Gary Brightwell, a running back out of Arizona, and Rodarius Williams, a cornerback who set the school record for consecutive starts, starting all 4 years with 48, Rodarius Williams.
Yep, well, we'll start off with Brightwell. North and south runner, tough in between the tackles. You look at Arizona, the Wildcats, it was all zone scheme, inside zone scheme, outside zone scheme. Doesn't have that big acceleration to get those home run hitting, but he knows and has the vision on how to cut back. He's got the jump cuts, and this is another player that can add value on special teams. And then when you go to Williams, obviously his brother Greedy Williams, drafted last year.
Younger brother Williams.
Drafted by the Cleveland Browns. He has the most consecutive starts in Oklahoma State history. That shows you his durability and what he meant to that football team, not to mention his ability to recognize coverages, different route combinations, close in on the football, and make big hits. He's one of the top tacklers when you look at the corners. If he wraps you up, you're not getting out of it.
And a core special teams player. Joe Judge told the story. Tom Quinn pulled him aside, the Giants' assistant special teams coach. Look at this guy. They watched him. They like what they saw. And, Dave, you talked about the players. Are you happy with the play? You think the Giants got a good class? Well, here's the kicker. There's a bonus. The Giants also acquired a 1st-round pick in next year's draft, a 4th-round pick in next year's draft, both of those from the Chicago trade in round 1, and an extra 3rd-round pick in next year's draft. That's from that 2nd-round trade with the Dolphins.
So when you think about the ability to move down in the draft, go to number 20, but maintain the ability to get one of the top wide receivers in the draft, I would say that's great execution.
No doubt about it. Remember, next year's draft class will also be a lot larger because a lot of players took advantage of the NCAA rule, where this did not count as a year of eligibility. So the Giants will have a ton of players and a better scouting experience to choose players in that 2022 NFL draft. That's a look at the 2021 NFL draft. For David Diehl, I'm John Schmeelk. Thanks for being with us.